Trying to take advantage of a nice person the night before Thanksgiving.
Sure, let me just get up at 4:30 to prep everything and get it in the oven by 7:30 so it can be ready in time. Shall I make you a pie too? Don't forget the cranberry sauce, thanks. Oh, and I like whipped cream with my pumpkin pie, not the canned stuff. This is unfortunately common. Had a person on my local FB page offer the same, and some lady asked if it could be cooked and all the sides included and then delivered. There are some delusional people out. So I tried this 3 times. Every year we would get a frozen turkey at work. I would try to give it away, and every year had dozens of responses like this. If they didn't ask for it to be cooked, they wanted it delivered. I'd eventually find someone to take it though. I gave up and started eating turkey for a couple years. But then they stopped giving us turkeys and started handing out grocery gift certificates instead. But they give us the option to donate to a local charity. Dunno what, maybe the suits need free groceries is most likely, but I don't have to deal with a turkey I don't particularly enjoy eating. At my church, the Women's Missions Groups always puts together a number of Thanksgiving baskets for families in need at a local elementary school. A few years back, the ladies decided to stop assembling baskets of traditional Thanksgiving foods and instead give Safeway gift cards so that the recipients could buy what they wanted. They had somehow realized that not everyone knows how to cook a turkey and stuffing, may not like cranberry sauce, or might prefer a different kind of cultural celebratory foods. I was amazed that these ladies in their elderly years came to this conclusion, and really that is a great way of showing Christian love in a tangible way. They likely switched to the gift cards because enough people complained about getting a turkey and offered the charity option to preemptively cut off people complaining about the choice of grocery store or something. That way they can just say, no problem, we can donate your gift card to charity if you don't want it. So just to put things a little bit on perspective. A few years ago there was a pretty strong earthquake in Mexico and a friend of my parents lost his home. He recovered but was having a really hard time, borderline poverty. So a bunch of people gathered to give him money, goods and food, as he had lost everything. Money he took it, but he had to reject a lot of food or ask to be cooked because he didn't have a refrigerator nor a way to cook it, oven, stove. Some people took it badly, choosing beggar, but some people I've been going to the same therapist for many years. Frequently they had an anonymous donor offer full turkey diners with all the sides to the poor clients so they have it for Thanksgiving. First year I got one, I cried, feeling so grateful. I even wrote a letter to the anonymous donor, thanking him so very much. But the next year, my friend who takes me everywhere like appointments, shopping, everything. I could never repay what she's done for me and my family. She was a client at the same office. She found out about the turkeys. She pretty much went to the receptionist and practically demanded 1 box for her and 1 box for me. She had not discussed that with me prior. I could not take it as I had no room in my fridge or freezer. Plus at that time, I didn't need it. But my friend can be a bit overwhelming when she thinks she's right. I was mortified. The next week, I talked to my therapist and a tearful apology for my friend and I didn't need it. Therapist calmed me down and just reassured me it would be fine. They ended up giving the 2 boxes. I called my son who is 24 and lives with his partner if he would like the box. When he saw everything in the box, he cried. This year was different. My therapist said their anonymous donor was no longer doing it. That's okay. It's his money and he should spend it where it will be useful. My friend was upset. I just quietly sat in her car. That's a shame about the donor and similarly with your friend. I think it's amazing they did that for previous years though. My work does something similar but no request needed. Everyone at work gets a box with turkey, stuffing, vegetables, fruit, wine, pickles, peanuts. My first year there I was overwhelmed and probably cried myself since I was dead broke and barely making above minimum wage there. 7 years on at the company I make good money but still appreciate the box each year. This year we had to opt into it, otherwise they sent out a $75 card to each employee. A couple years ago I was doing D2D sales in Columbus, Ohio on Turkey Day Eve, and I happened to run into a nice family that was broke. Husband had just been laid off. Wife hadn't been able to find work for days. Wife crying to me privately about how they wouldn't have Thanksgiving because no money, etc. So I call it a night, run to Aldi, and for about $30 got them a Thanksgiving dinner, box mashed potatoes, a turkey, boxed stuffing, sparkling apple cider, cranberry sauce, etc. Offer them a job with my company since they were down on their luck and I've been in that position before. Give him my phone number. Tell him say Mr. Pooperson sent you, etc. Nobody says thank you. Husband tries to flex on me for emasculating him or whatever by buying the groceries he can't afford. Wife takes 2 bags of stuff and basically slams the door in my face. Okay, whatever, at least those kids get Turkey Day. Day after Thanksgiving get a call from them. Was like, well, we aren't hiring today, and get cut off. They weren't calling about a job. They were calling to ask me to buy them more groceries. Enough groceries for a family for a month. And still no damn thank you for the turkey. The moral of this story is that sucks. This is the type of shit that makes me think it's not worth it next time I have the urge to do something kind or selfless. Though I still somehow manage to feel guilty if I thought about doing it, and decide against it. Pro tip. The night before Thanksgiving is way too late to start defrosting and brining your bird. The night before is a fine time to start brining. But yeah, it takes days to properly defrost a frozen full bird. I learned this from my family, whomever learned it themselves. Every year, the turkey would need just a little more time, and would still end up dry on the outside and probably less cooked than it should have been deeper in. The first time I cooked Thanksgiving dinner for them, they were complimenting me on my turkey for weeks. It wasn't anything special nor was it perfect, but it was properly defrosted and cooked and didn't have any pink bits like they were used to. IDK man, this feels like they're joking. Like how when my grandma used to ask what I wanted for dinner and I'd tell her lobster and champagne edit. I joked about this so much she actually made me lobster for my 16th birthday. Honestly, she overcooked it and it was pretty terrible, but I pretended it was the best thing I've ever eaten. So I bought a just did a free Thanksgiving dinner for 2. The way it works is you buy off the list provided, upload the receipt, and then they refund the amount through rebates. I can't imagine being such a CB that just isn't good enough. I am not advertising Ibotta. I have a hard time getting around disabled. My vegan friend went to a food pantry and got me a 22-pound bird with fixings and wished me a happy Thanksgiving. I was happy enough with that. Had Karen get pissed at me today because I wouldn't deliver a free wardrobe. Literally filled my message box with cussing messages. I would have said okay then froze the turkey for pickup. LMAO. That's gotta be a troll. I can see myself doing that. Some dude on Facebook was giving this super stained broken down couch that looked like someone jizzed all over it and set it on fire, and I commented, "Want furnishing my crack house." And I got kicked out of the group. But it's been a few years and I am still cracking up at it. To be fair, if they can't afford the turkey, they may very well not even have the means to cook it. When I was poor, a raw turkey would have been utterly useless to me because I didn't have an oven, decent utensils, big pots, or even a fridge big enough to hold it. People are intense right now. I bought maybe $10 of small toys to put in the Walmart donation box because it was empty. I put them in and start walking out and see some guy take them all out and throw them in his cart and just walk out. Had to go talk to customer service and they replaced them, but damn. TF people. Honestly, Thanksgiving and Christmas are 2 of the times of the year when choosy beggars irk me the most. I've encountered some of the most ungrateful and entitled people essentially with their hand out at this time of year. I've had parents refuse gently used toys because their kids only get new stuff. I've even seen a guy tell a woman to take back her pumpkin pies because black people eat sweet potato pie. Sure, I'll spend 2 hours on food prep and 3 hours to cook it up for you and make an artisan gravy, homemade mashed potatoes, stuffing, cranberry sauce, etc. Then you can come over at 11 and watch me eat a few bites, then dump it in the trash, ya fucking jackass. Story time. I worked for a huge TV network, volunteering, and giving Thanksgiving dinners out to those in need. Which is an amazing concept in theory. There are literal homeless outside who are bone-thin and disheveled folks walking all around dressed kind of, I say this with no disrespect, poorly. Anyways, come game time we let the folks in to start serving them their food. We brought them turkey, green beans, etc. to their tables and basically waited on them hand and foot. Which is awesome. But there was only Hispanic families, huge families. Now I am sure some are struggling financially, it's LA, but they dressed better than most do. I'm not talking their Sunday church clothes. I mean jewelry, being pushy, etc. It's well known in LA that Hispanics take advantage of the government handouts and also take advantage of charities like we did. But what bothered me was it QAS almost like a practical joke that there was only Hispanics. No black folks, not one Asian, and only one white man who was married to one of the girls. This is in a huge hotel near downtown. Maybe 400 to 500 people we watched walk in. The folks that came in there got chosen before homeless, actual struggling folks that were literally down the road. They had newer phones than I did at the time and designer clothes. Pissed me off that they took food from those actually in need. PSA. Also, don't cook stuffing inside the turkey. Unless you want salmonella, then go for it. Seriously though, be careful if you do. Look up proper techniques. Just tempt the stuffing also, no techniques involved. The breast, thigh, leg, and stuffing should all read a minimum of 155 degrees Fahrenheit to 160 degrees when you remove from heat. As long as you let your turkey rest for a half hour before carving, everything is safe. Food continues to cook for a bit after you remove it from heat. Poultry is safe after having reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The error that causes people to get salmonella from stuffing is that they've not checked its temp and pull the turkey early, so to avoid a dry bird. Stuffing is not dangerous, lol. Not knowing safe cooking temperatures is. I had to read that fucking comment 5 times, each time sifting lower and lower through my lexicon of absolutely horrid people, before I fully understood what was being asked and just how shitty someone could possibly be. Hard to tell without a context. If that person is known for trying to be entitled, etc. I get it. But this comment might be because that person didn't have an oven. My good side, maybe they don't have an oven because they can't afford to buy one. My cynical side, those entitled fuckers. I actually donated my first turkey today. My work always gives us a free turkey, and this year I wanted someone less fortunate to have it. I thought to make a post like that one, but I knew, being on Reddit these last 3 years, that something like a choosing beggar would try to pull shit like this. I gave it to the Salvation Army. That just sounds like an asshole trying to prove a point. And that point being giving away free stuff is negative. This is them making something difficult because they agree with the idea. From what I gathered, a turkey isn't that expensive. Would a person in need even have the facility to prepare and cook it, which all adds additional costs? Ooh yeah, my guy, ill stuff that turkey for you. You said pick up around 11? That works, my cum should still be warm inside it. Maybe they don't have a kitchen to cook it in, nor do they know the amount of work that goes into it, nor do they understand basic social media etiquette. Or they're just an asshole, which is more likely. But I imagine there are some folks in the former category, which is a pretty sad place to be if you think about it. I know this sounds entitled, but a lot of people in poverty don't have an oven, only a microwave. If they haven't had an oven in forever, they might not know how long it takes to roast a big turkey and think 11 is reasonable. The stuffing there's no excuse for. I believe I would respond, nope, and then block that person. So, others would see that I am not interested in playing, but the greedy fucker couldn't even find the post again. Yeah, no problem. I'll just put your turkey in my second oven. What's that? We only have one oven? Alright, guess my family is the hungry one now. Can you pick up the turkey at 8 and have it roasted and back to me by 11? Thanks, friend. At first I thought Op glued the turkey bag on the ground with liquid nails, or something like it, and filled it with air to trick some porch pirates. So, might be totally off base here, but could this person be trying to point out that affording food is only part of the equation? Many people eat convenient food because they don't have access to facilities to prepare food for themselves. Admittedly, a very roundabout and inefficient way of conveying something. The only reason this would be acceptable is if they live out of some extended stay hotel that doesn't include an oven in the room. Even if that was a case, they'd probably say that in the post, so pretty sure this is just a choosing beggar. Friend of mine posted getting in line for a free turkey with a fucking venti Starbucks. Pissed me off so much. Depends on type. You could be anywhere from 70 cents USD per pound, a couple bucks per pound for fancier birds. Thanksgiving birds can range from 7 to 20 something pounds. I once offered a free Xbox I was finished with on Facebook. Some guy the first used to work with said that he'd love it, thanks very much, but can you drive it to the next town and drop it off? No. Story time: a few years back, a coworker from my wife's work was picking up groceries for Thanksgiving. She's stopped by a man right by her car who asks her for money because he can't afford to feed his family for Thanksgiving. She kindly offers most of the groceries in her cart, literally going to hand him bags of food. He stops her and says, "Keep it, you cheap bitch, can't even give me a 10 spot. Fuck off." She just stood there in disbelief for a few moments before leaving. Feed my kids equals I need money for the cheapest bottle of booze at the gas station around the corner. If they truly can't cook it after receiving a free turkey, then you might as well go the extra mile. Worse comes to worse, they lied and you did a great thing anyway. I just find it hard to believe there's people who actually don't step back and think for a second how inconsiderate even joking like this is. Seems like most of the posts on this sub, definitely including this one, are pure jokes, satire. I just don't get why you guys would take this seriously at all. Would the morning work around 11 good? It had to have been overtly satire, cause you don't see additional comments tearing M apart. Just saying, a lot of homeless people can't cook stuff, BC they don't have a stove or anything. Seems pretty entitled, but when you think about it, it's really not. I don't have access to an oven, can we arrange something? What time is best for you? Versus, bitch, I want it at 11, stuffed. LMAO at the downvotes on these perfectly reasonable comments. Reddit has decreed that this person in need is a piece of shit choosing beggar, and you had better not point out the fact that most food drives and community food banks won't accept a frozen or uncooked bird for exactly this reason. People in need often can't cook the food themselves. Has anyone considered the person asking does not have the means to cook the turkey themselves? And let me guess you'll come back with, well, they're on Facebook, probably on their phone, blah blah. And thanks for making assumptions about what this person may or may not ask for if this request is granted. Sounds to me like trying to get brownie points without doing much of anything anyway. This comment section is full of Scrooges. Hot take: if you don't have the means to cook a turkey, don't respond to an ad for a frozen turkey. Definitely don't try to con the giver into cooking Thanksgiving dinner for you. The poster wanted to help a family in true need. You don't know. The requester might not have an oven, or be able to afford to run it, or have the skills, or any of the other kitchen staples you need to properly prepare a turkey. It's fine for them to ask. It would be fine for the op to say they can't do it. I mean, when you are talking about the people who can't afford to go out and buy a turkey, maybe they don't have a working oven? This isn't, can't afford a nice phone poor, this is, can't afford Thanksgiving dinner between all of us poor, and I don't think it hurt to at least ask. Geez. Not really a choosing beggar emo, because that nasty entitlement isn't there. Okay, I'm gonna be that person. If they're truly a family in need, then they may not have a way to cook it. No oven or stove or anything, so I don't think it's so outlandish to ask. While they have a phone, are we sure they have an oven? Or their electric bill is paid for sure? Maybe they legit are so in need they can't cook it? Not saying it isn't choosing, just maybe they are in a really bad spot. If they want the free turkey cooked, you can put it in the oven at 11. When they arrive, you'll tell them it just went on. They'll probably ask to speak with the manager. Since it's your house, you're the manager. You'll smile at them as you say, I thought that, since you wanted it cooked, you might want some company to go with it. They'll yell about something that doesn't really matter, probably comment that the company they want isn't yours, and complain about your house. You'll smile your best manager smile, lock the doors, and tell them that, as long as they're in your house, they'll live by your rules. I'm not sure about this one. It's plausible that someone who can't afford a turkey can't afford the stuffing and may not have a working oven or no oven at all. Maybe they're living in the street, who knows? Maybe so-and-so is homeless. Responding to this post on their local library's internet, and it was just the excitement of seeing such a generous offer that they forgot their manners. Or maybe not, but who knows? I am absolutely aware that there are people who will take a mile when offered an inch, but I also know that it is entirely possible to have a smartphone, car and not have an oven, or have the money to pay for the hours it takes to cook a turkey. A lot of the people I have worked with could not accept food donations that needed to be chilled or frozen and could only use items that could be prepped by microwave or instant made. When it comes to food donations, at least, especially when it comes to a big item which needs a lot of cooking, please keep this in mind if you do get this response. They may not necessarily be CBs, just in a really dire spot. I'm definitely not saying only offer if you can prep, not at all, but you can add a note saying food offer only or prep included to save you some time, or donate, send directly to a service who support low income, homeless, and advertise the service instead. And other food donators, you're all wonderful human beings for thinking of others, especially this year. I hope all the goodwill and kindness you send out finds you again down the way. Okay, honest question, but why is that most of these messed up posts are from people who live in first world nations? Here, from third world nations we work hard, study hard and come to first world nations and better ourselves, whereas these people living in first world nations behave like entitled B***chess.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. And if you are new, subscribe and click on the bell icon.